and then we are on. So this is our second class. I had set down an assignment. I know Urshita is not here today, and Dr. Supriya will be sending in later, but you had sent me your first assignment, right? So we'll start with, I'm just going to start my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So today we're going to start, well, I was hoping to have a bigger discussion, but we can move the discussion to another date. So I've received some of this thing. I am really not interested of what you have painted. You could have just made one dot on it and it could have meaning. So the drawing itself has no meaning. When you try and give it meaning or you draw according to meaning, that you're still staying in the space that is your thinking mind. This represents this represents this, will only be thinking, right? And you picked up elements. I want you to feel. How do you feel? What were the sensations when you were making it? What does it represent in, not in terms of events, but in terms of sensations, in terms of feelings, in terms of meaning? That is what we want to see. So I want to bring in, when I had first done this exercise, I had done something that I had made. And I'd like to first show you the image, but I'd like to read the reflection that I wrote. So this is my idea of landscape of labor. And for me, it showed, okay. So you can take it in, what all can you see? You can see a boat, you can see a woman, you can, you know, and it's kind of cyclic in nature. It's round. I've painted them round. And there are a lot of spirals because spirals is one of the symbols that I'm very attracted to. So this drawing, this was my insight, how I had journaled. So I'm going to read it for you. This drawing is completely influenced by my experience as a doula. However, I did not need to think this part. Even though each woman goes through a unique labor and birth experience, there are certain commonalities that resonate through each labor, including my own. She sails out on calm seas, excited and just a little anxious about her journey. And as the ocean floor drops from under her and seas get rough, the little boat is rocked. She finds herself in unknown territory. Soon enough, her little boat is tossed and ripped as she sinks deeper. She spins through vortex of intense feelings, physical and emotional. The physical manifestation of this play of feelings is seen as progress or not. At some time, she hits rock bottom, and only then can she begin her journey upwards. While the picture could represent the woman working her way through labor, sinking deep into her instinctive self, moving with her body, supported by her nature as a woman and hormones, it could also be opposite. She could start with a small fear, which would then grow with each contraction further as time passes. She may reach a point where it paralyzes her and she faces extreme physical pain and helplessness. Her labor could be stalling, or she could be facing trauma for herself and baby, and that's her point of hitting rock bottom. And then, having faced the worst, she comes back. What came as a surprise was the part where it says keep going. I found that I drew this little energy symbol within her as she was moving in time and body. She also moves the energy within. Whether this energy uncoils in sync with her body or against it is the play of her feelings, faith or fear. As she hits rock bottom, she lets go of all plans, ideal birth scenes, and if she does tap into her positive energies around her, she can move beyond the mode and modality of how she gave birth and actually births the baby. It helps me understand how I connect with the woman I support and how she can mirror my positivity, but most of all, despite all information, why I feel helplessness and desperation when she isn't able to work through her issues, blocking her birth and my energy. begins to move in negative direction. It has given me a new sensitivity to why some births are mentally harder on me than others, irrespective of how the woman has given. So this isn't about what I drew. This is about what it meant to me. Now I will ask you to go back and look at your picture. It doesn't matter whether it was pretty or not, whether it was right or not, whether the river said something or the flower said something. It doesn't matter. How did I feel? Because it's a representation of my feelings. And you're the doula. How do you see women? Are they powerful? Do they need your help? Can they do this by themselves? If they can't do it by themselves, how can you help them? What is your role? If they cannot do it by themselves, then are they capable of being good mothers? So you have to continue to refine, because how you see the woman is how you will give her care. And how you give her care will set her up from her own expectations. Already the story says that they are not capable of giving birth, leave it to the doctors. Then if you're leaving it to the doctors and then the doula comes and says, no, the doctors are not right, you leave it to me, I will help you. No matter who's helping her, she's helpless. How do we see a woman and why do we see her like that? What are we afraid of? Those are the things you want to tap into. So I've looked at Sonia, I've looked at your this thing. I will recommend that you go back. Do it one more time. Even if you don't want to draw anything extra, you look at it and say, it doesn't matter what it represents. What does it mean to me? I'll give you a simple example. I'm just going to quote you here. You said the sun is a ring of fire. Have you felt it?
No, but I've heard about it and
You heard about it, right? So which part of your brain or body knows the ring of fire? You're in andar se ki dimag se?
Andar se. When I say it, I feel some sensations.
Yeah, but I gave birth to a 3.75 kilo baby. I never felt a ring of fire.
Oh,
So are you supposed to feel it?
not exactly. Right.
So if you are expecting that every woman will feel it, that is your idea of it, because you've never felt it.
I've never felt it, right?
So think. So you know about ring of fire, that is why you feel a sensation, or is it truly a sensation? Is your intuition being blocked by your cognition? And how do you know the difference that this is intuitive and this is cognitive? How do you know whether this is mine or this is something that has been programmed to me?
Yeah, because I've never felt this, so this is something.
But I've given birth vaginally. I've never felt it. And it was not a small baby.
Yeah, 3.75.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a story by Grantley Decreed. He was an obstetrician in 1919 in London, 1919. And all women were given pain relief drugs and all births were attended by doctors. So he gets called to a poor section of the town. There is a woman who's giving birth who is so poor that she's wearing a sack and a black dress, black skirt. She's so poor. So he goes there, he takes out his equipment, she looks at him and she says no. And then she quietly gives birth to her child and wipes it and puts the baby to the breast. So Dr. Grantley Decreed is a big obstetrician and he says, why did you say no to pain relief? He asks her, he's very curious. And she said, because it didn't hurt. Was it supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
So are we feeling the pain because we are being programmed, or is there pain? There is no right and wrong answer to this.
Yeah.
Because when we are doing childbirth education, when we are hearing stories, right from the moment that we were even conceived, we are being programmed.
Yeah.
Unless we don't teach our clients to reach their inner self, They are lost in the layers of programming. I'm a woman, I have to be this way. If you're a good girl, you have to be this way. If you're wearing a skirt, you're a bad girl. These are all programming. Women who wear Western clothes are not loose character. White people have morals. These are all programmings. And we all have them. So this section is about breaking programming. That is why we are not interested in the picture.
Yeah.
We are interested in the sensations. We are interested in the feelings. We are interested in asking the picture what we might learn from it.
So can I share something?
Yeah.
So while drawing my picture, while drawing those mountains, I could actually feel my contractions, which I felt, and nothing beyond that. That because then they decided that fetal heart rate dropped, and they took me for a C-section. So while I was drawing those mountains with those wavy lines, I could actually feel that.
Good. So then
Yeah.
What happened then?
When
After you drew the mountains?
After I did the mountains, I felt that yes. Then I drew the river first. Then after the contractions, that the water came out and the baby came out. That the boat symbolizes the baby with some rest. So there are two boatsmen on that boat with those what do you call that? So that is the doctors. They helped my baby come out, and that's it. And then
what was the assignment?
Landscape of labor.
As you see it as a doula.
As you do, yeah. As you see it.
As a doula.
Doula, right.
But if the doctors are helping everybody's baby to come out,
yeah,
then what do you feel?
I went into mine.
Yes. So because we always are unable to separate, we don't do this work because the calling comes from a personal experience. But what do you feel how women are? So you can do this again. It's okay. We will, each time I will push you to go deeper. Okay?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Hello, so, Dr. Supriya.
Yeah.
Hi.
One second.
Yeah. So she was busy with her phone. I said, meanwhile, I can say hi to you.
Yeah, no problem. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move ahead. Here we are. So what I've written has nothing to do with that landscape. The landscape is offering what nature offers to a woman as she gives birth. I have talked about the energetic center of the woman. I have talked about, but yours could look completely different. And then you say, as you look at this picture now, what do you think? So some assignments are worth exploring. Here are some of them that you can do in your own time. One could be, so what I've written, just read that and follow it. Seeing myself as a mother. For centuries, artists, writers, therapists, theater, poets, fairy tales have impressed an image upon image of mother and of mother-child on our personal and collective sites. Your relationship with your mother and your grandmother also formed your idea of the idealized good mother and the terrible. Draw how you see yourself as a mother, even if the human figure does not look like what you see in your mind. Remember what matters, that in expressing the image, you feel it. Your drawing will include colors or symbols that express feelings associated with being a mother. This is a complex or ambiguous image for you. Add as many symbols you need. Right? When you think you're done, keep going and add 1 or 3 more marks, ideas, or symbols. So that's one of the assignments you can do. We're also going to start exploring that if you had a client, what assignment would you set them? Will depend. If she's unable to visualize her life after the week. So if you have a client who keeps on saying, oh, but you know, when will I get back to my life? That might be a good assignment for them. Because she's not visualizing herself as the mother of the child. She's visualizing as a pregnant woman is going to give birth and go back to her life. So mother. Birth in our culture. Imagine that you're from another planet. Your assignment is to send home a drawing that shows birth customs in this culture. Make a drawing of the birthplace and its customs. This is the one I did in my childbirth class. If there are people, show what they're doing. This image may not represent your own birth expectation or values. You're drawing contemporary birth customs. It tells you how people are programmed. In urban areas, 100% people will draw a woman lying down and giving birth. Even the ones who want natural birth. Here's your assignment.
Just one question to them. Are these assignments like when we are meeting the client for the first time? Is it necessary that we have to ask her about the?
No,
so
it's not
what
necessary.
kind of first time? What exactly we
So
have
first
to
time you're
make
saying, okay, so wonderful. How did you hear of me? She'll say, I've heard it through somebody. Okay, what is your idea of birth? What are you looking for? So people will say, I want the baby to be safe. They say, I don't want to be alone at that time. I don't think I have anybody who can help me. They might say, like a lot of my expat clients say, I expect you to translate for us or explain the customs in India for us. Or I want to make sure that you let me, you hold me steadfast if I am looking for, if I start asking for an epidural, remind me that I want to do this. So you're first setting a context. Now you will meet a lot of people who will say, I want natural birth. Right? And so when you say, okay, what does that mean for you? Sometimes it will mean only vaginal birth. And they'll say, oh, you know, I don't want to have a C-section. And some of them may want you to be the person who will fight with the doctor so that they don't have a C-section. A lot of them. Some of them, but you will find that when she's talking about her natural birth, she seemed very disconnected. Husband ye karega, doctor ye karega, but what will the woman do? And she has no idea. So then you can set up labor wala assignment for her, saying, okay, let's do an exploration of where you find your strength. You can do an art assignment because you know, I like to change positions, I like to do this. This is very outside of the body. Why would you want to change positions if you don't feel like it? She has not used a feeling word, I will do this or I feel this way. So she's taking no responsibility of this birth. Then whose responsibility is it?
Okay.
So a lot of doulas think that it is their responsibility and lots of clients think that it is her responsibility. That is why the burnout rate in birth work is so high. How can you ever take the responsibility of her experience? Now say we say that we are going out for dinner, all of us. And I'm going to take you for dinner. It will be the best food you've had your entire life. How can I guarantee that? Food may be very good, but you might find that my mother makes dal. That is the best food in the world. How can I make sure that you're dining? I can offer you a wonderful restaurant with a great cuisine, but I cannot guarantee that will be the best evening. Can I? Whose responsibility is that? So I say, oh, you know, I really like to treat you to a good dinner. Yeah, I will take, saying I would like to go and eat at such a restaurant. I hope you will join us and I hope we will enjoy. So I'm doing what I want to do for my experience, right? Or I'll say, I really want to have a good meal with you. Please choose what you like to eat. Where would you like to go? And then you'd say, oh, you know, there is this lovely restaurant in that market. Let's go and eat there. I've heard really good. So whose expectation is there? Who's making choices? And who onus of enjoying the meal will lie on whom? So I'm very clear. Either it's my experience, I want to enjoy it and I make the choices. Or my choice is that you have a good experience. So you make the choices.
True.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So what we are going to do in this seminar helps you understand. You might use one of the things, you may use none of the things, but they are added tools in your toolbox for prenatal and work between women. So it's a good way for women to connect as well. By setting them these articles, you are asking them questions. If you ask them cognitively, they'll give you a pre-programmed answer. But if you do this exercise, they'll say, yeah, I didn't think of it, but it struck me. It is their discovery of their own feelings, which we are not responsible for in any way. We are just the gatekeeper. You are the guide.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, look at this. This monument was made by Shah Jahan. But whether they feel that it is a monument of love or not, so ek to Taj Mahal, you are told that it is a symbol of love. Right? But she might look at it and say, no, it's a grave. The man killed his wife by having 14 children. It's not romantic.
Yeah.
So there is a story about Taj Mahal, and then there is her own idea about it, and then you're the guide who are just giving her the facts. But you can also say that let's go at full moon and you will see the beauty of that architecture. Oh, whether she will be moved by the beauty or not, we don't know. That's okay. Do you understand? I've tried to make some examples so that you understand why we are doing this and how we may use it. So if you remember how you joined us and we were doing hypnosis, those are all doorways of a deeper understanding.
Yes, true.
So is art. So you don't have to, but you might really enjoy it. If you bring in, so as we do the labyrinth and others, you'll find that there is other journeys to take. Art assignments are one of them, right?
Okay.
So this is what I want you to do for this time. So you say, imagine that you could peek through a window into your womb. What is your baby in his or her womb all day? What does he or she look like, hear, feel, see? And then you can do a reflection of what you are drawn. So this particular one also goes very well with Garbha Sanskar.
Yeah, and that I really thought of when you were reading this. Yeah.
So you are now embodying the baby as a person who has a life and a routine in the womb.
Yeah.
And then you can say, you can also write your personal messages on it, and you can write a blessing if you want. You can, any symbol of good luck or good faith. You can do any work with it, but that is later. First thing is the reflection. The idea would be that you will personify the baby as a person. Once the parents come into this awareness that my child is a living entity, their choices will change automatically. So this is art assignment number 2. It's called Womb with a View, to bring client in awareness to a person who's deeply interlinked with them, their life experience, their worldview. This assignment is a conversation starter to pre and perinatal psychology and choices in pregnancy, birth, and later. Let's begin with your view into the world. So how do you see the baby in the womb? Not your own, but you can imagine that what are they doing inside? How are they being molded? So anything can come out of it. Okay. So these are now I have written assignment objectives for this. So as a practitioner, as a professional, it's not just good art and feel good workshop. You have a very clear objective. Ki kya objective honge is particular assignment ke, here are they. So assignment objectives that I've written, at the end of the assignment, the couples will be able to identify the fetus as a person and will become more in tune with the baby's process of becoming. This will allow them to relate to their baby in the womb and include the baby in their life experience of pregnancy. This assignment would benefit couples who are looking at pregnancy as a means to an end or in an entirely physical way. This would also help parents to connect with their intuition about the baby and reduce the dependency on technology. So I have which means that if I find that I'm working with a mom who's just thinking of birth as the end product, the baby will come out and I will carry on with my life, I might use this with them. Or people who are really worried, is the baby okay? So we help them to do this. And also for a lot of people to stop thinking about pregnancy is something that is happening to me and there is a baby involved. Here are some other that you can do, and I'd like you to think about, I'll send you these particular slides, and I'd like you to think about when would you use each one of them. So just very simple 1 or 2 lines, 2 or 3 points of assignment objectives. So birth in our culture, journey through landscape, the one we did yesterday, last time, opening in labor, strength in labor. Basically you're asking, saying that, okay, you're taking a journey through labor. Tell me where do you find your strength? So they may say, I pray, or, you know, how do you see yourself strong in labor? Or so opening in labor, they could be, so you can do half and half picture, you fold a paper. As you open in labor, where would you find your strength? And then you can do an assignment of seeing myself as a mother, womb with a view, seeing myself as a father. So you could write down some objectives. Think about these topics, or you may have a completely different topic. So with a couple who's exploring problems with conception, we could say, what is your conception story? What imprints are you carrying? Or write down what are the, or think about what you feel might be holding the baby back. And then they can write about their challenges or the deep thoughts that are blockages to their pregnancy. Okay. Now, how do we do this? How to give an assignment? So we say, draw your strongest image of birth. So strength in birth. But you don't draw yourself strong in birth. Your strongest image of birth can be your ability to feel the weakest. Yeah, I'm totally out of it. I've totally let go of control, and that was my strongest moment. Because remember, in labor, you hit a rock bottom before you come out. The ability to let go of control can also be your strongest image of birth. But seeing yourself strong in birth is an added burden of personifying what strong should be. The image that comes to your mind first or most or often when you think of birth versus see yourself calm, strong and intuitive. That is you telling them what they should feel, and that is their feeling. So the do's and don'ts are very simple. Draw it as you see it in your mind's eye, and then you say, make your image big and let it fill the page. So the don't is that you don't give them suggestions that will direct them to a certain place. You give them a suggestion or an instruction that is simple, very, very, very simple. When you think about birth, what is the first image that comes to your mind? Yeah, if you imagine yourself as the baby in the womb, what do you see? Very simple, one line. Because the more you'll complicate it, the more the cognitive mind will start to get into it. The more explanation, the more justification, the more words you use like strong. These have very strong, very powerful connotations. So simple. As you close your eyes and imagine the baby, what do you see? Whatever it is, we don't care. Because we don't care about the picture, whether it is anatomically correct. We don't care whether it is actually correct or not. It is a feeling. And we want to dig deep into that feeling. Otherwise, our cognitive mind will not allow us to say and feel what we are feeling, and it will always be the waves under the surface of fear. Sonia is looking very distressed to me.
I was thinking.
Yeah, we're sharpening our words even more now. What not to do. So here are some of the things that you don't write. Draw your ideal birth. Draw your perfect birth. Draw the fantasy of birth. No, no, no. Just see yourself in the birth and what comes up for you. Because we don't want to tell them what they can see. That their cognitive mind is doing enough. We want them to feel into what lies beneath. So these particular words will amount to an idealized birth plan only in images instead of words. Second thing, don't say draw what you fear most about birth. Again, you are suggesting your mind to go somewhere. Because if they start drawing their helplessness, then they might sink into it. Again, don't get focused on the product. This will take you and your client away from the process. Don't be concerned with the right picture, because then nothing will emerge. You will only be trying to make the picture look pretty. And do not invite non-participation. Don't say it's your choice whether you can do it or not. We are going to do it. This is your tool to dig deeper. We are going to use all the tools at our disposal to prepare. Do not hesitate or do more to reassure. So when you are doing the assignment for somebody else, you will find yourself trying to give too much detail so that they get comfortable with it. Don't. Just simply say, we are going to look at the landscape of labor as it comes to your mind. So when you think of labor, the length and the breadth of it, what comes up for you? That's it. Don't say, see how you're doing, how strong you can be, what will come out of it, what are your... Don't give it too much. So some people may be nervous about art. It doesn't matter. ये सब बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. I know that some of you are not comfortable with this. It's okay. Your art doesn't need to look. Don't say all that. This is a process of you digging into deep into your mind's eye. What you draw will have a feeling. So this is your context. So close your eyes and see what comes up for you. You know, you're not even telling them what to look for. What is the first image that comes up when I say the baby's in the womb? That's it. कुछ भी और बोलने की जरूरत नहीं. And you will find that once they tap into that intuition, there will be so many universal symbols that will come up. If they are talking about फिर वो ऐसा है and saying, as you are thinking about it, how do you feel? Draw that. Don't offer rational reassurance or solutions. This is not your job to interpret it. Do not give out tissues if tears appear. If they cry, they cry. That is the work of the healing that was needed. Stay focused. Don't focus on the problem. You know, when I draw about labor, I worry about this. Not interested. What do you see? I see myself. So they will come up and say, I see myself going through this hard period. Okay, what else do you see? So they'll say, I see, I'm really afraid whether I can act. That's what I wanted to hear, your fear. But the answer is still not with me. So if you see yourself afraid of not being able to do it, what will help you at that time? Somebody reassuring me, or sometimes they just need permission to say that it is okay for you to feel fear, or it's okay for you to take an epidural. Saying, okay, what would help you? I don't know, I really don't want to take an epidural. And what if you do need it? How would you know that edge where you do need help or you don't need help? Ask them for answers. The more they start to define their answers, the better and easier it becomes for you to give them what they want. Ask for it. Okay. Never compliment the art. Never analyze or interpret colors, features, or even what is missing. This is not you to interpret it. This is not an art therapy. You're not the analyst. Don't edit or correct the picture, or don't be logical. Always answer with another question. Okay. And so if this happens, how do you see yourself? What would you need? Because the answers are in them. When they realize that they're working with somebody who cares enough to hear them and does not judge them, that creates safety. I can do whatever I want, then that's freedom. I don't have to be in any way. That is freedom. So again, send me your art assignment in JPEG form. Send me the journaling that you write. List out any questions that you have. We are postponing the discussions till everybody has submitted. So it's fine if we do the 4 webinars and come back and do a discussion later. It's okay with me, however this plays out. So see, and you're also writing for some of the things that I've written, assignment objectives. The interesting part will come when everybody's submitted it and we discuss it. Because this is not something you can read out of a book and know. You have to experience it. And you have to participate in the discussion. Because then you will know how people's brains can work and how differently they can go. And you're looking at a picture thinking something and boom, she said, oh, I didn't think of that at all. And you will also be able to separate out what she feels versus what is programmed.
Right.
Right? So we're going to stop here, but we're going to do some mandalas next time. Though, so the mandalas and the labyrinths are different ways of art where you create your own strengths. And we're going to do that next time. And what are our symbols for? Everybody's symbol can be different. Symbols for strength, symbol for challenges, feminine symbols, labor symbols, fertility symbols. But more than that, I'd love to hear how you guys are doing in the journaling, the pieces of art. And feel free to try as many assignments as you want, just getting the feel of it. How would you present this assignment? What and when would you like to present it? So the objectives, the wording of it. So my wordings may be great, but you might not be comfortable saying them. How would you say it? Simply. And I'd love to hear that back. Okay?
Yeah.
So I've set you up. And we are short on, I mean, we're doing it in lesser time because we've yet to do discussions. So we will pick up that whenever we are ready to do it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to send this presentation?
Yes, I'll send you some slides of it. जिसमें सारे assignments लिखे हुए हैं. Definitely.
Okay.
Last one also I'd sent you, Supriya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So assignment 2 also I will send you. Clearly.
Fine. Thank you.
जिसमें सारे objectives हैं, all the written work I am going to send it.
Okay.
The one that I have of my drawing and that I won't send you because if you read it, then that influences you.
Yeah.
That is for you to just take in as a discussion, and then the rest I will send it to you. Okay.
Only thing is I'll be making the assignments later.
That's fine.
I told you.
That's fine.
That's
So you can do these after the second.
Yeah,
and then we will do a group. So instead of 4, we can have 5 webinars on this subject.
Yeah.
And we'll bring one up
before
for
the last
discussion.
webinar on 6th, we have the last webinar.
Yes,
no?
the 6th
So
is the last
that,
one. And then on the 20th, by that time, you can finish all the assignments and come back with your questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. I'll say good night to you.
Bye.
Now, what are you thinking?
Good night. Bye. Yes.
Sonia, कुछ सोच आई थी, she did this and then.
I'm thinking मैं अभी बैठ के लिखूं फिर से अपनी ड्राइंग खोल के.
बोलो.
Yeah.
Stop thinking कि इसमें क्या होना चाहिए और feel कि इसमें क्या होना चाहिए.
Right.
आंख बंद करके भी बनाओगे तो भी आ जाएगा. So beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.